So now we go on to the dashboards, which we're going to go through. Well, they're taken. That one. It's already open. Okay. Right. Okay.
Hi, my name is Crystal Sirisoma. I'm a data analyst at CEG, and we produce over 20 dashboards for City and Hackney. I'm going to pick 3 dashboards and explain to you what sections you could be looking at to help improve your targets. So first, we are going to look at the long-term conditions dashboard. Could we see the top?
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, we just need to resize this a little bit.
Which bit do you want to see?
The menus.
Oh, I see. The menus. Oh, there.
Here we go.
This is the monthly, isn't it?
Yeah, the 31 dashboard is sent monthly to all the practices. And all our dashboards have similar sort of a layout. And we've got drop-down menus where you can select your month. And there's a drop-down menu where you can select your practice. And there's a drop-down menu where you can see, select your indicators. So in this practice trend page, you can look at one indicator at a time. And the charts below that is a good initial visual representation of how much you've achieved up to date. So that donut chart there, the inner ring represents your minimum and maximum targets, and the outer ring actually shows you how much you've achieved. So for this particular practice, you can see the practice actually have already achieved about 2/3 of the diabetes in BP 140, under 140 over 80. The chart next to it, the trend chart, you can see the progress throughout the year. So you should be aiming to increase your bar size so you achieve your minimum and maximum targets by the end of the year. And the section below that shows you details you can't actually see. You can't see it from your image searches. So actually maybe it's easier if I click on it. Right, so this section here shows you the numbers you don't see in your image searches. So for that target up there, for diabetes below 140 or 80, you can see how many of your patients are eligible for this particular indicator, and how many patients you need to do the activity on to achieve your minimum target, and how many patients you need to do the activity to achieve your maximum target. And you can also see how many patients you have done the activity on, which is completed, and how many patients remaining for minimum and how many patients remaining for max. This page is useful in that way that you would know how many more that you have to do. Also, the practice data tab is quite useful as well. So it's quite difficult to move around in this screen. Right, again, you can select your practice here. And you see minimum and maximum targets along here, alongside all the indicators. So you've got all the indicators going down here. So if you look at column N, you can see how many more patients you need to do the activity on to achieve the targets for all your indicators, which is quite useful. Another useful thing in this dashboard is the color tag. So we have a system of color codings. So first of all, you've got your percentages down here. So through the financial year, this is how much you've achieved for your targets, and they're all color coded. And I'll explain what the colors mean. So if it's green, that means you have already achieved your minimum target. And if it's blue, that means you've achieved your minimum target, but you're still below your higher target. Amber means you haven't achieved your minimum target, but your running rate is quite good, so by the end of the year, you would achieve your minimum target if you keep the run rate at this rate, at the current rate. And red means your run rate is not good. That means you have to bring the rate up, so you would achieve your target by the end of the year. Is that clear? Is there any question?
I got one question. I really like your dashboard. I use last 2 years every week. One thing I'm really confused because your 12-month percentage and financial percentage never match. What's the difference between these two percentages being different?
Okay, so the financial year means it starts from 1st of April in this financial year. 12 months look at the last 12 months, so it's not within the financial year. So it's everything in the last 12 months.
12 months is still same thing, April to March 31st.
No, it doesn't start at April. So if you look at, so this is September. So 12 months means, yeah, you're looking at from last year September to this year September.
Okay,
so it's just give you a general idea of how you have performed. But I think the important section is the financial year, because that's where you have to
basically, as you go through the year, by the 31st of March, both should match.
That's the thing. Last year didn't match our past years. That's why I was curious why.
Okay. It should match by the end of
Maybe
the
they
year.
have a different. I mean, we can take that up later.
Yeah.
Just let's not digress too much.
But it's really useful. Thank you. I like your dashboard.
Otherwise, I'm going to move on to Fair Home Business Dashboard. Right. Fair Home Business Dashboard is useful because you can't see the number of visits on your searches. So again, you can use the drop-down menus on the practice summary page to choose your practice. So this section on the left shows your register. So this is 33 is the current Fair Home Visits register for this particular practice. But what's important is for this service is Fair Home Visits registered with 2+ visits. If there aren't two visits on the patients on your Fair Home Visits registered, there's a penalty, so you need to get 2+ visits. Also, you need to achieve a minimum register, which for this practice is 19. So when you choose your practice, it's visible here what your minimum is. And this practice has already achieved the minimum Fair Home Visits register. On the right-hand side, you can see the actual number of visits. So this practice has 76 2+ visits. And these two numbers here are used to calculate your average payable visits per payable Fair Home visit, which is 2.8 for this practice, but you have to achieve 3.5 to get paid without penalty. The GPC confederation has to achieve 3.5, otherwise that's penalty. Is that clear? Mm-hmm. Okay.
One question I had on this, is this a live that, or is it something because it's coming up on a monthly basis that even by selecting the date, it will give you the information that you have from that date? Because, for example, if you get that dashboard, let's say 2 weeks ago, and then obviously there is activity. It will say 2 weeks ago the amount of, for example, diabetes patients, we need to call it, let's say 100 patients, and now within these 2 weeks we've called some of them in already. And if I select that date to today's date, will that be updated version, or that will be?
They won't have today's date. They're monthly. Yeah.
Right.
So the data that's exported for the dashboard is for the first of each month, and it takes roughly about 15 days for us to produce, check, and then publish the report. So you can only go back and look at each month. If you wanted more up-to-date activity, you do have to look at the searches. But I'll be going through those later, so we can cover that in a minute. Yeah.
And here you have an estimated current potential end-of-year payment, which is based on your Frail Home Visits register. And your GPC expected maximum payment is based on your, your GPC expected max payment is based on your minimum and maximum payable Frail Home Visits registers, so based on these numbers. So this is the most useful page on Frail Home Visits dashboard. There is also a good visual representation here, which shows the Frail Home Visits register breakdown, the monthly breakdown. So the blue region here represents 2+ visits on your Frail Home Visits register. So throughout the year, you should be aiming to increase this blue region and reduce the red region here. So for an example, on 1st of September this year, this practice had 27 patients on their Frail Home Visits register with 2+ visits, but there was one patient with only 1+ visit. There's also a page with visits breakdown, which also shows how many visits patients had on your Frail Home Visits register. So last year, this practice had 2 patients with 9+ visits. I mean, this could be helpful for you to get an idea of how many visits you do on your patients. But again, the blue region here represents 3 or more visits, so you should be aiming to achieve more of the blue region. Right, I'm going to move on to early years dashboard now. So this is our new early years dashboard. It's currently got 4 sections. We've got pre-conception advice, current 15 to 17 years health checks, maternity, and universal partnership plus. So again, if you choose your practice here, you can see how many patients had preconception advice up to date, up to this month, and how many of them has an enhanced preconception advice. Same with health checks. You can see how many new patients registered and how many of them had a new patient health checks done. It's similar for maternity, and you had 24 patients with pregnancy presentation, and 18 of them had activity done. And it's the same thing for 16 weeks exam and postnatal exam.
So the important thing on that is that you can quickly see how many exams you've done where you haven't actually done all the activity that was required. So I'll go through that in the searches in a minute, but that's the main use of this, so that you can see where you're missing some activity for which, and you've done the exams, but you're not going to get paid for it because you haven't done the activity. Yeah. And
here we have Universal Partnership Plus. So either you're eligible for review or eligible for a new action plan. So if you're eligible for a review, how many of them have been reviewed and how many didn't have a review? And if there's an action plan, it's the same, how many had the new action plan done and how many didn't. So straight away you can see your numbers in the first page of the earliest dashboard. Obviously, if you need more details, you can go into individual tabs where you can get your denominator populations and the percentages. But yeah, as you can get those from the image searches as well, I think this is the most important page. Is there any questions?